The River Realms, they call it.
All right, gentlemen. Welcome to my first ever Vagrus The Riven Realm stream. Do let me know how the audio sounds for those of you that are in chat. For both the game as well as my chatter here. It's been a while since I streamed on YouTube, so I'm not fully sure how loud or not loud this is going to come through. I could see probably check it on here. So I'm not fully sure. I think it's okay. For those of you that don't know, I do regular streams on Twitch. So if you ever want to check me out there for some of the other content I do, that's at twitch.tv/LeeroyGamingStream. Now, as an intro for those of you that watch this later as a recorded content, I will be looking on comments and also obviously interacting with those that are here live for my streams. So feel free to come and join me live. I am going to, this is not my first time playing this, obviously, and as it's noted, we're going to do a Mercenary playthrough, which is extremely difficult. I don't think I've seen anybody actually do a playthrough of Mercenary as of yet. It's quite a bit different. I will be providing some kind of, a little bit of a tutorial on some recommendations if you want to do something like this after watching me stream it. I have not beaten this on Mercenary. In fact, I actually haven't beaten on Traders. It's a pretty big game. But I feel like I've learned enough to at least get off on the right foot. I will not be reading all the in-game texts. There will be some in-game text I will go ahead and read for you guys, story-wise, but this is a very text-heavy game. I'm going to be mainly focusing on the gameplay. And then if there's any requests from you guys in chat, I will make sure to do that for you guys. So since it is now 9 o'clock, we will go ahead and jump in and start out with a brand new game. Waste mode, of course. Now I'm going to skip the little intro, obviously.
Yes.
I'm assuming most people have probably seen this.
Profession.
All right, now we're going to start with character creation. I've done kind of some calculations and research on this. If you're going to be going the mercenary calling, as of right now, I feel there's only one option that is going to give you an advantage, and that is going human Tarkian. And it's for one reason and one reason only. You get this advanced Tarkian awning equipment. And this is extremely powerful because one of the things we're going to be doing with mercenary gameplay is we're not going to be having very many beasts of burden. We're going to be having lots of fighters that are going to be on horseback. And we want to basically be able to get as many fighters while minimizing our consumption. So we don't have to go and scavenge quite as much, don't have to hunt quite as much, because we will not have room for a ton of food overall compared to a pure trader. Additionally, what you have to factor in here is that we're going to be fighting and raiding. And so we're going to want to have room for all the stuff we're going to, how do we say, we're going to free some equipment, free some human beings. Well, the reverse of freeing them, I guess, so that we can sell them for profits. So this is where we're picking the Tarkian awning and the human Tarkians. The persuasion is fine. Savvy is fine. Savvy is pretty good for basically like salvaging bad situations. There are some other options. Some people may say, oh, you do like half orc for some of these more like aggressive options. There's the savage background that could be kind of good for the melee combats. But again, we want to really make sure that we buff out our whole team and prepare you for the crew combats. So that's what we're going to be working on. Is the screen zoomed a little? Oh, okay. Let me see if I can fix that. Thanks for letting me know. Let's see here. You know why? That's because I was doing some Back for Blood. There we go. I think that's better. Let me get that fixed. All right, that should be pretty good, I think, right there. And I know my little picture and stuff's going to block some things, but I'll try and communicate things as best I can. All right. Now, as far as backgrounds, there is one that's way better than all the other, and that is Adventurer. So one of the things when assessing this value is of the different backgrounds is what you're getting and how hard is that to get in game. And so this gives you resourcefulness. And let me kind of show you why this is so valuable. So any one of these perks, for the most part, a +1 perk is the equivalent of 1 insight or 1 EXP. But if I were to show you right now how much a resourcefulness costs, I'm just going to quickly, we'll go back. But let me see here. I'm just going to go wealth. All right. So if we look at resourcefulness, for me to get an extra resourcefulness, it's 10 insight, the full 10 points. While if, for example, I just get like 1 point in Beast Lord, that's 1. Any of these are worth 1. So us going from 3 to 4 resourcefulness, that's 10 insight. So what are we seeing here? We're seeing by going adventurer, you're getting 10 plus 1, 11 value. Well, if we get a veteran, you get like 1 fighter, which is negligible. It's not worth that much. Tough is okay. This one has boost, which is nice. Boosts are worth a couple points, but again, as it's not as universally useful as the resourcefulness. And all these other ones, the reps, money's okay, but most of these again are going to be equipments or perks that aren't worth that much. So like charisma plus encourage perk, just not as valuable. Workers again, not so much. Now there are some builds if you want to get certain companions really early. You can get like Loader's Guild, Reputation. This one plus con perk. This lets you get Garak really, really early. So for example, early in the game, you can pick up the Orc, and then you can get the Dwarf almost immediately as well. So there's kind of ways to save you some time. But again, because we're going to be going combat heavy, we're going to want to get this up even higher than this so that we can utilize these elements to get better tactics in combat, in the crew combat, for example. So that's going to be really big for us. So this is where we're going to choose Adventure. Now we are going Mercenary. So this is, again, most people, when you watch playthroughs, they're going to do Trader, and it's for good reason. This is way, way easier. This is going to be a bit tough. I tested this out for just a little bit, not much. So there's still a chance I'm going to, face plant, and that's okay. So we're going to be getting command perk, which is nice for free. Unlocks advanced actions in crew combat. The tricky thing here, though, is because it's going to take you 2 of our resourcefulness to unlock them using the command perk, then we're going to need even more resourcefulness to actually use them. So this is it's a little shitty since early on you're getting this, but you're not even going to get to utilize it. Intimidation perk is decent. This is mainly to keep our indentured servants in line before we sell them off. Fighters are fine. Scout, we're gonna want fighters in Scout, but this isn't worth that much. The slave isn't that much. The standard armament is nice. This is going to help us with our DPS, and medical supplies are nice, but again, these aren't worth much. So really what you're getting with this is your command perk is the best thing. And again, you're just kind of pushing yourself down a playstyle that's going to be a little bit more challenging, but also I feel like it's going to be potentially very, very fun. And we love money. I mean, we're mercenaries, right? Guns for hire. And now perks. So this is where it's very, very important how we figure this out. So, I mean, I could go straight to 5 on this, but I'm not going to because we're still going to need to hunt. And so hunting so that we can basically keep our supplies up is going to be really important. Obviously, we don't start with anything, but luckily we can afford to pick up 2 points in hunting. We're also going to pick up 2 in beast lore. Both of those, all 4 of those increase chance of hunting. And then, and then we have 4 more points. So we have a couple options here. Now, you could pick another one of these stat points. You'll notice I'm not putting extra points into foraging. Foraging is good, but right now we have so little points. I'm going to hope that our percentages are going to be still good enough for some foraging, but we're really going to count on beast lore. Now, there's two ways we could go here. We could get another point of hunting or another point of beast lore, but I'm going to get a point of authority because I want to make sure we're going to be getting 2 companions rather early in the game and technically 3 pretty early. And this will allow us to have 2 deputy positions really early in the game. So going mercenary, I feel like this is a really, really strong start overall. It's going to be hard no matter what we do, but this gets us started. All right. And let's see here. What are we going to be? Spartacus. It's going to be an ironic name because we're going to be totally taking slaves and selling them. But that's not our fault. We got to make money, right? There we go.
Curious, curious. I am
All right.
humbled.
Now I'm going to
and
skip this
really
initial
do
thing. He just given us some tips. We wake up. And good morning, Ryan or Rian. How you doing? Oh, hey, Moki, what's up? Nice to see you on here. Morning creeps up on a wasteland, so we're going to wake up. And I'll give you a really quick synopsis of the beginning text because it's text heavy. He's basically giving us some tips to get started. And it's everything that I'm going to be, this is the advice I'm going to be giving you guys as we play along. So you don't have to worry about it. So I want to thank this old man. All right, and if you're brand new to the game, this is your interface here. So this is our little caravan. And we need to make our way to Karnak Way Station. And so we're going to do that right off the bat. Now, I also want to say out, I have no issue. This game is very, very heavy on RNG. If we get a really crappy event, I am not afraid to save scum if need be, just so we can keep things moving. If we get a really, really bad RNG pull, so I can keep showing you this content. But for the most part, I'm going to try and play as naturally as possible. All right, so we have arrived at the first section. The Karnak Station, which is now surrounded by makeshift camps and improvised mancios. What's going on here? And I'll read some of these texts here. So a pair of gruff-looking mercenaries walk out to meet you and give you a half-hearted hail. First one to speak is a tall, lean, tainted fellow with barbed spear. Gotta say, folks just keep popping up like wraiths around a rotten corpse. All right, move your arse over there and try to settle without a fuss. So we're gonna go ahead and comply. And let's explore. All right, so the very first thing we want to do here, we have 15. I'm going to call this silver. I'm not going to call it brass and lyre. So this is silver, this is copper, and this is chump change. So always get some information. Trade route stuff is worth it. Exchanging the news. You always want to click this because you get some money for trading news before areas. Now we're going to hold on to this. We're going to sell this up north. What we want to start out for now is I'm actually going to spend a little money. I'm going to get 4 horses. And then I'm going to pick up that extra scout. And for now, I think that's going to be all we do. No, you know what? Just in case we get in combat. Because we're going to go off to the side and hunt. There we go. So we have our crew, 59 consumption a day. That's not too bad. Let's take a look at equipment. I don't think they have anything this first, or do we? No, we're going to be buying a guard dog. Not a guard dog, but the attack dogs in a little bit. So for those of you that don't know some of these stats, vigilance is kind of your defensive stat that counters ambush. So every time you go camping, you have a statistic, your vigilance versus a theoretical enemy's ambush chance, or rather when you get into combat, sorry. And so if they roll high and you don't have high enough vigilance, you get ambushed and you get a bunch of negative points, modifiers to your attack and defense scores. So if you're going defensive, you want high vigilance. If you want to try and ambush, you're going to be very aggressive. You're going to want your ambush stat nice and high. In a perfect world, you get them both high, but obviously you have limited spots for upgrading. But we are not going to get any of that for now. Also, on a side note, I mean, I'm going to top this off a little bit. This is one of the areas that you can get supplies for 1 chump change each. This is the best price you're going to get at this. Depending on where you are, this can cost 2 chump changes or 3 of these chump changes, as I like to call them. And that's horrible. That gets really expensive. So I like to stock up when I'm at any location where it's nice and cheap to buy, while also factoring in room for travel. Now we have 8 days of food, so we're going to be perfectly fine here. All right, so let's go ahead and travel. And again, I like to travel adjacent to the roads. For those of you that don't know, roads are going to be the fastest. They're going to only cost you 2 movement points, no matter where you are. There are some events, including a little bit of up north, further north that we're going to go right now. There's an event that you can run into that's going to help you unlock another companion. And in my last playthrough, my first big playthrough, I never got that companion because I never went on roads. Now, the downside to roads is that you're going to run into tolls, and those can get kind of expensive sometimes. You can also get jumped. There are certain marauding groups that will really, they're preying on caravans like ours. And so they're going to jump you. Now, and while you're also on roads, you cannot hunt and you cannot salvage. So if you're doing a build like ours, where we want to make sure we maximize our food, you're going to want to, that's right. No, we should probably rest here. All right, so we'll rest for a day. Okay, there's no advanced options for that here. And I don't know why this defaults to pay later. Always do pay now, unless you're like really, really broke, which hopefully you never run that low on money, because this will just have negative impacts on like morale, etc. All right, and I'm gonna skip these tips. But again, if you guys have any questions, do let me know. All right, and when I travel, I like to either go -2 of my max. That's not gonna have any negative impact on our stats as we travel, or we could go all the way and to have it to 0. But no matter what, we're going to be hunting and salvaging whenever we can, and that will either cost 2 movement or 1 energy. We also always want to make sure we have posting guards, which is going to give us obedience and morale, a low chance of ambush. The other ones are horrible. The only time you'll have these is if you're forced, because you lose too many fighters, for example, which may sometimes happen to us depending on how the battles go. All right, so let's go and rest. All right, we get 19. There you go. This time, notice we had 9 movement instead of 8. If you have high energy and your morale is high, you're going to be able to move extra. But if you start exhausting yourself, this will start getting lower and lower. That's no good. So this time around, we are still going to rest, but it's going to take a little more energy out of us. And you can click this little button. If you like to hunt and forage almost all the time, make sure to lock it out. Just do double check. Sometimes you'll have 0% chance of succeeding. Then you might as well disable them manually. All right, there we go. So that, even though it failed, that was 45. That's, in case you guys are wondering, that was almost a full day of food. So we barely lost any food doing that. All right, we'll do, let's see. And sometimes you have to go manually to get like the right combo. Yeah, see, like that way it went 8. That's fine. Keeping it kind of near the road. Nice, there we go. So we actually profited on that one. So the only time it's bad to travel kind of slower like this is if you got some timed events and you got to get back to them, like deliver something super fast, or you're running out of time, then you can go on the roads and book it. So sudden gales and odd winds are no strangers to wanderers of the wasteland such as you, but even you have to admit that there is something different about these gusts. It's almost as if there were voices on the wind, barely audible, just beyond the threshold of perception. Whispers, people stop in their tracks to listen and frown in concentration. Whole experience is quite unnerving. You calm them, ordering everyone to focus and get a move on. Crew trudges on, trying not to think about it. Eventually, the wind dies down. All right, that's kind of good. We didn't have any. I thought we were going to get some sort of negative effect from that, but we did not. All right. And so last time we actually went to the negatives from the rest. So this time we want to alternate optimally. So we recover. A nice jackpot. There we go. We get some bones and we get some ivory. So we're going to make some profits from this. Selling those, that's another benefit. Go another 6 and we're almost there. Nice. See, we're back at 8. So even though we've been traveling all these days and we left with 9 days of food, we're only down 1 day from all that travel. And that, gentleman, is beautiful. Ooh, nice. Some hides. Those will sell for decent amounts. Oh. Now, what I also like is the game. It looks like in an update at some point here, they redid the calculations. So it will, by default, normally dump whatever it thinks it values the least. So it compares 1 bone versus 3 hides, etc. So you don't have to do your own calculations. Do be careful if you know you're going to some place where a certain item is really overpriced, then this may be incorrect because, you know, you may be, if you have 1 and 1, it may think the average price of one is better than the other, but your price that you're going to get where you're going may be better. But that's kind of like an advanced tactic. 99 out of 100 times probably you can leave whatever it recommends here, and that's going to be the least valuable. All right. All right, and now we're going to go all the way to the shelter. All right. So we're going to approach the guards. Yeah, we have no contraband, so we're good. Always pay the gate tax. You should be able to afford it. There's ways you can pay with goods, which is not going to be nearly as cost effective, or you can pay later. When you come out, you will be forced to pay, but you're going to pay a higher amount, so you should never do that. All right. All right, so we're going to do a couple things here. So these are going to be some of the missions. So even though we're going to be a mercenary, we are still going to be picking up some trading missions as well. It's not going to be all one-dimensional, but we're going to find a combination of things. Now, first what we're going to do is go ahead and sell off these extra items. Now, even though we could potentially go to a different location to sell for more, we're going to be limited on space. So we want to make sure we sell that. And I believe the luxury wines sell here really well too. Let me just double check. I want to confirm. I'm 99% sure. Yeah, like here it's selling for 9. Where we came from, it would have sold for 1. So this is great. And I mean, they give this to you on purpose, I think, as a tutorial. All right, now we top off. As I mentioned, this is a really good place to get supplies. All the other places we're going to be traveling to here in the short term are going to have, these are going to cost double or triple, which really adds up. Oh, interesting. I think the next area we go to is going to give us that. I thought it was here. All right. Oh, so they must have buffed this. So somebody made a comment on my video. I wonder if this is... Oh, it's because I own it. That's right. So if you don't play with this background that I have, you can get a normal awning. It's just much, much weaker. We have like the superior awning. All right. So we're going to go and let's hire some more people, actually. So what I like to do, even though it's kind of pricey, we're going to keep our 1 beast of burden, but that's it. What I really want to start getting more of are the mounts. Now, I do want to bring something up for you guys, and that's the question of swapping potentially to the kind of lizard mounts, which we could afford to do right now. Completely swap over, but we're not going to. Now, these lizard mounts are interesting. The main mounts are actually more powerful. Their offense is +2. So you're getting 5 attack per mount instead of 3. But there are a couple of problems. You carry less, and because we're not going to be counting on Beasts of Burden, that -2 going from 7 to 5 hurts. 1 less movement for both the normal movement points as well as marching, and it costs double the food. And then if we were going to use their Beast of Burden, they cost a lot more food. Like instead of 12, it's going to be 20. They move slow. The base move, their march is slower. Their normal marching is faster, or movement, and they carry more. They also have more defense. The problem again is the fact that they're going to take up so much more food, and we want to keep nimble. We want to kind of stay light on our feet. That's the optimal thing right now. Now, you could argue, we could argue that this attack power could be worth it, but this is just such a brutal food. So if you think about it this way, I could double the amount of horses here, right? So if I get 2 for each one, because it takes double the food, right? The net result would be that here I would have 2 times 3 versus 1 times 5. So 2 horses are always going to be more offense than one of these lizards. And we're going to want to make sure all our fighters eventually are on horses and they turn into outriders in combat. So again, that's my kind of explanation where we're going to stick with the horses. And the trader mode, I actually kind of like. Changed my mind when I play a trader, and I like this. So yeah, they do take a lot of food, but you don't need as many beasts of burden, and this extra offense kind of helps because you're not going to need quite as many outriders to keep your offense going, which can help out. So again, we're gonna pick up the rumors. We're gonna trade the news here. Let's go ahead and buy a couple horses. We're at 26. I like going for 8. I want to push it. That's a lot of our money, but that's okay. I'm going to pick up a 5th scout. We do need to get a couple either workers or slaves. We're going to go ahead to go up to 5 workers. We'll keep the slaves the same. And this is the ratio we're going to start with for now. All right. I'm just going to check. I want to double check, make sure I don't miss anything here. I believe, yeah, we're going to be able to get some companions here. So we're going to seek out Braxis' store. So the old man basically told us at the beginning of the game to seek out Braxis. He's going to help us get some companions. So you make your way to the part of the market district that lies just east of Calrish Market. So well to locate a statue of Mercatus overlooking a dried up fountain carved of dark stone. But when you do find it, you can see the shop is indeed right where Agos said it would be. Huddled between 2 tall, decrepit buildings, Braxis' storefront is not much to look at. Only his name is written on the stone slab of the doorway. No sign, no display, no stall, nothing. Inside is a dark lit room with a dirty counter, a strange odor, nondescript trash that barely passes for wares, and a demonkin fellow fiddling absent-mindedly with some gadget. He looks up you as you enter. "What can I do for you?" he says with a ghoulish grin. He can't help it. He has pointed teeth, a big nose, crown of jagged horns that not only adorns the top of his head but also the sides of his jaws. His eyes burn with a pale orange light, and he is surrounded with an almost palpable aura of nervousness. Surely, this cannot be the man we were guided to. "Are you Braxis?" "Oh yeah, in the flesh." Braxis bows his head theatrically. Explained to him that an older wanderer called Agos told us to come find him if you wanted to find the right people for a comitatus. Braxis smiles his fiendish smile upon hearing the story. "Indeed, I do specialize in connecting such people. Might have someone you were willing to find useful, even help you getting them to join you. And I owe Agos, so there. Everybody wins." All right, so I'm gonna skip a little bit of the mini text coming here, but basically he's gonna give us one random companion, and then we'll have a second choice of 1 or 2. All right. So we have 2. So here's the random one. We get Krifta. So this is kind of unfortunate. The best one that you want is the Dark Elf. That one is a pain to get. You can get all of these externally. This Krifta lady you can get relatively easy, but she's pretty good here. So here's her information on her. There's a lady with a very special skill set I have in mind. Not only is she really good finding her way across the wastelands, also comes in handy in fights and can track down basically anyone. She's a bounty hunter. Or so they say. I was told she was looking for commentators to join, and she can traverse the realm and claim bounties as she does. I also heard she may have some kind of connection in the Imperials. We have to ask her about it yourself. Her name is Krifta. And again, getting her isn't that hard. You kind of go north to the slave city areas. You talk to some NPCs there, and you find her like doing a bounty, and then you bring her back down here. But but we're definitely interested because we're not gonna say no to a freebie. So minutes after you tell Braxis that you wish to meet Crafty, he closes down his shop and is leading you to where you can talk to the woman. Talking. So they say that you're recruiting. Are you in need of a scout and a tracker? I can offer my services. Krifta here has been all around the continent. She's tough as nails and knows how to hunt down beasts and even men. True what the demon spawn say, Vargas, but I can say that you have question, so you can talk to her. Let's ask her about her skills and abilities. She's handy with a bow for hunting prey, man, or beast. She's a hunter, a tracker, and survivalist. So we love the fact that she's a hunter and survivalist. So her hunting abilities will stack with all of our bonuses. She's being modest, Captain. Brax intervenes. Actually, Krifta here is quite renowned bounty hunter and marksman. Also, a huntress like her and your crew can provide all kinds of benefits, like allowing you to save on supplies as she gets you fresh food regularly. And we're going to love that. She may actually, arguably, for Mercenary, be the best random option. So let's, I have never talked to her before here. So let's see. What's her connection to Empire? She says, I work for the Empire often. She looks back at you. So I have a good reputation of Imperial bounty hunting associates. I also may owe a certain official favor or two. Not that would get you in trouble, but I may have to work on the side when we stop here and there. Figured I'd be part of cooperation. That's fine. We're going to have different quests for these NPCs, and it's going to get us rewards, and it's part of the story. All right, I think we're good. Yes, 3 liars. Those are the coppers. That's not bad at all. Try to haggle. We're not going to haggle. We're fine. Plus, we don't really have good haggling skills. All right, she says, excellent. She'll buy rations, gear for the road of this. All right. Now that Crafty business taken care of, I can help you recruit another fellow. Yep, let's hear him out. So we have 2 options at this point. So we can have a dwarf that's basically kind of a con man. He's a smuggler. He would increase how much we can carry. Or we can go with the orc, and he's basically battles in the arena. Now, I have found later on, when I was playing as my trader, he didn't like what I was doing. I was working with like the slavers and stuff, and he was like kind of warning me that he didn't like the decision I was making, but he didn't specifically say which decisions. So I'm a little unsure which one I'm interested in, but the orc is really good in combats. Additionally, he's got a buff that can help you defend your basically your caravan, which is kind of important for when we get jumped and also in combat. So we're going to go with the orc, and hopefully it doesn't leave us as we're doing our mercenary stuff, at least not early on. All right, so it says good. As I've said, his name is Gorgoro. I guess they had to add the gore so they didn't get in trouble, mimicking a Molder combat character there. As you expect, he's quite a warrior, somewhat of a celebrity in his city even. Though, according to him, his gladiator days are behind him now. Now, that is another thing you can do in this game, is do gladiator stuff. I may buff the mercenaries in this playthrough, and if we do the companions, we may do some gladiator combat. That could be kind of fun. However, one of his associates got him into some kind of trouble with powerful people, and now he has to answer for it. Since the guy is technically a Lanista, he was given an opportunity to field a couple of gladiators against the gladiators of his accusers, and should he win, clear his name. However, he himself cannot step in the arena, and only Gorgoro stepped up to defend him. meaning they are 2 gladiators short, but I can get 2 fellows to round out the team. You win the fight using them and thereby make Gorgoro indebted to you. He wanted to leave Zortag anyway, and you would owe me a favor as indicated. Alright, we'll do that. Let's do it. Alright, so we are all done here. Let's see here. Couple of things to point out. You can go to the bounties office. I don't know if I saw this, but if you go to the authorities in the Temple District, you can check out what kind of bounties are going on. Oh, so here's a unique bounty hunting opportunity because we have Krifta in our part of our party. So let's select it. Upon noticing the detained bounty hunter with you, the Master of Justice draws 2 of you aside. Follow my apprentice to one of the back rooms. She indicated quarterly into bowels of the building. Now, as she lowers her voice, we have an urgent and delicate issue. Need to touch the professional. The executor, her apprentice, bows his head slightly and starts to lead you down the passageway. Okay, we're going to go ahead and follow. Ooh, lots of text. All right, let's see here. Thank you for your time. I'm just going to power read through this to save you guys some time too. And all right, here is the bounty. The priestess says this bounty involves the finding and execution of a necromancer who has gone rogue after Empire poured considerable time, resource into his training and education. A traitor of the worst kind. He took off after murdering some of his colleagues in the city of Devon. So Devon is a kind of a slaver-friendly city up north. We do not clearly see yet if he was compromised or simply went insane. It is not uncommon among Ashkultis, but now he has surely raised a small cohort of undead to protect him. Is up to no good. You can find him somewhere in the very south of Hagar Tour, near the foothills of Sepus Mountains. Travelers report being harassed by organized hordes of undead, and someone has left bone effigies around the killings. Clearly, his modus operandi. Eliminate him as soon as possible, and you will be handsomely rewarded. Thanks you. I cannot warn you enough about being discreet, Vargas. The church will not forget such loyalty. All right, you bow your head and take your leave. All right, cool. So we're gonna pick up these bounties. I don't think we're gonna do well. You know what? I want to be careful because once you get these bounties, they will appear on your map, or they should anyway. Yeah. So here's that one right here, Death Incarnate. So this isn't a big problem, but sometimes they'll be kind of close to an area you want to walk through, and then if you're not ready for the fight, maybe you got to go around them to avoid them. But if I remember clearly, this one should not be bad. Now let's do this outlaw one. Vile murderers and ruffians. They are weak of heart and weak of soul, so they prime righteous and true. Escaped slaves, of course, all of them. All right, so I think we can take this bounty. We're going to leave the vicious beasts and the rogue tribe of savage just plagued. We're going to leave both of those. For those of you that don't know, if you want an army that's got more than 59 armed people, meaning scouts plus fighters, you need to purchase a license. We're going to try and hold off on that as long as we can. That can get really expensive. And then I believe, let's see here, we need to go. This is store. Nope. Civic. We need to go to the arena. Let me save as well. Oh, just kidding. Also, if you're new, regardless of whether you are going to be somebody that trades or goes fighting, I highly recommend you visit the infirmary and purchase medical supplies. Now we're going to start with 5, but I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 more, which is a lot, to get 10 of them. This is absolutely invaluable so that you can actually heal up and rest up. Without them, your characters will really struggle to get better. You have no chance to save your fighters. All right, let me see here. Is it the Arenas Maximus? Nope. 1 second. I'm trying to remember. No. Where is our mission? Okay, that's our one. I thought we had. These are our news tasks. We're supposed to have the mission for picking up the orc. Why do we not have the mission for that? Am I missing something? I thought it's supposed to pop up as a mission. Let me talk to our friend in the market district again. Oh, here it is. My bad. Drius. So we're entering the Drius compound. All right. And we are going to inquire what happened to the school. And here's Gorgoro approaching us. And here we go. So this is the opportunity. We're going to offer to help in the match because they're struggling. They're low on supporters. So as the story says, we're going to offer help in the coming match. Drius faces, knowing that Braxis will back you. I'm going to accept Gorgoro's offer and pledge yourself to help them in the arena match. All right. And now we are going to prepare for the match. Now do note here, you're going to see you can make a little bit of money doing odd jobs, 54% chance. Normally I don't do this, but because we have good energy or fresh enough, well, actually, you know what? Since we're going to do combat, we want to be as fresh as possible. Oh, another thing I want to point out. Make sure to talk to your companions when you get them and check on that, because you can sometimes have little talking points that will give you EXP, insight, aka EXP. So in her case, I think here it is. So this is her personal quest line. She said, I was told of this opportunity by some officials who know me well, trust my ability and dedication. I get such employments often enough. There's a sizable bounty on the head of an orc warlord called Krogvor. Despicable man, most beast than a man, in fact, but he's not to be taken lightly, for he is a whole pack of marauders barking his heels, all of them thinking they are great warriors. All right. So, you know what? We'll do this later. I don't want to activate that because we don't have the power for it yet, but we will soon enough. All right. You can also give them gifts once you get some gifting materials. All right. Let's go back to duties. I like when you relax, there are the cheap options. I normally like to go with this option here. It gives you morale, vigor, and nutrition. If you're starving, you need to recover morale, you can do this second one. But note that you're not going to get any vigor back, and it costs more. So I normally like this middle option, like 99% of the time. And here we go. Next morning, here it is. We're going to be entering the building, and we are going to go ahead and fight. All right, here we go. So here is the companion combat. This by far is the most brutal part of this game until you can kind of get geared up and powered up, what I found. And lots of RNG, especially early on, but we should be able to do this. All right, so we want to hamstring. All right. The reason I want to get this is I don't want him to move away from there. So we can kind of... Oof. And we'll see how the RNG, whether it plays in our favor or not. Alright, we will go ahead. This is a double attack. Oh, evade and a miss. That was not great. We'll see. Ooh, bad RNG so far. So I've done this combat at the very beginning twice. Once I had no problem, and once I had to reload. And so far we've missed a lot. So we'll see how this goes. Ooh. Oh man, that is not a good combo. Alright, sheep shots. You know what? We want to get the stun done if we can. Oh, did that stun him? Okay. Or are we just having even worse luck here? Yeah, we really need to get some hits off here. Alright. Better than nothing. Alright, let's push this buddy of ours. Oh man, we're getting blocked and dodged. Whew. That's also why they don't normally recommend doing too much combat early on. It can be definitely brutal. There we go. Alright, we got this guy dead at least. Let's get the armor debuffed. Very good. Alright, let's try and burn him down. Now we can, just as most of these games, you want to focus fire if you can. There we go, nice crit. Looking a little bit better here. Oh, that wasn't great. Overwatch. Okay. Can I? No. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna switch. Movement can be a little wonky here. Just want to swap them. Hello. Why is it not letting me? There we go. Because these guys, they're going to be gone no matter what. So what we're really doing here is we are wearing them down. Not going to get to do anything right now. Yeah, we're going to skip the turn. And as soon as one of these guys goes down, we'll praise. Oof. Brutal charge. There we go. Nice. Let's swap. There we go. Ooh, see? Better that they take that than us. Oh, man, this RNG is just... Alright, go here and here. Alright. Nice, there we go. Victory. That's how you want to do that. Alright. And so just like that, Gongora has joined us. And we also get 3 insight, 3 EXP, which is really nice. Deputies. Alright. And now remember, when we first started, we upgraded our deputy capacity. So now we're going to get we should be able to get both of these. Oh, you know what? We have to unlock it first. She gets this already automatically, which is nice. So the boost we're going to get Venatoris, plus 10 hunting base chance, which is huge, plus 5 foraging. The Leeroy we don't care about, but we're going to open an animal equipment slot. That is huge, because that means we can have now 2 different animals. For him, we're going to need to upgrade him. Let's take a look. So we can make him either Marauder Prime, and if we do Marauder Prime, which is going to require hunting and perceptive too, we can do chase. So chase, the way that chase works is anytime you're in combat, you can lower the enemy's grit. Think grit is the enemy's morale in crew combat. And if it ever gets too low, they start running away. And you can let them run away, or you can run them down. Well, how effective you are at running them down is your chase stat. And then your ambush, of course, is what I mentioned before. Your ambush stat is what allows you to get the jump on enemies in combat. Now, guard captain is really, really nice. So we're probably going to go with him because you're this at first, because we already have charisma. Requires perception too, but we're going to get plus 10 defense, plus 5% combat strength, but most importantly, we're going to get plus 20 vigilance. So again, vigilance is defense against getting ambushed, which is good. And we also open up the defensive equipment slot, which is going to be big for us as well, which is this one right here. And so we already have an animal. We're going to be able to get two animals. One it's going to be miscellaneous. One it's going to be an animal. And if we get the defense, that's going to be really good. Now, in order to do that, we have to level them up. And the good news is we've got 9 points. So we can actually go ahead and do that right off the bat. So we're going to click on here. Level them up to level 2. We want guard captain, so we got to get perception. And this increases your vigilance chance. So again, this feeds into the idea that you're less likely to get jumped. Again, if we wanted to go Marauder Prime, we would pick up hunting, which we will do anyway, and also that same perception too. But again, for us, I feel like opening up defensive, being a little more vigilance, and get some of these defensive and combat bonus stats is a little bit better overall for now. So let's go ahead and pick up perception 1 and 2. And then we have enough for this. And we're going to pick up hunting. We're going to confirm. And then we can actually level them up again. And I am considering this greatly because we can get Beast Lore 1 and 2. More hunting. Hunting 2. So this would cost 1, 4 total. 5, 6. Giving us 9 more, and we do want to upgrade his combat options here. So this would require prowess 3, which we would get, dexterity 2. Okay, that's fine. And might 4. So that'll be a little expensive. We won't be able to get all of that at tier 3. Let me see here. Oh, we could get Sunder. Sunder 2, which is not bad. I really like Brutal Charge. You start them at the back row, get that attack. That's moving forward is pretty awesome. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to confirm this is, how much is this costing us? 6 insight. So it's kind of pricey, but we're going to get a bunch of hunting boosts and we're going to get them closer to being better in combat. So I think that's a good trade-off. All right, so let's go ahead and do hunting these. We have 10 more. We need dexterity, so let's do dexterity 2. We have 7 more, which is not enough. Okay, we're not going to have quite enough to get this, but Sunder is a pretty good. Yeah, lowering their armor, and I think this does stack. And then can we get... We can't get Might 2. We can either get Survival, more Foraging, which isn't bad, or Intimidation 2. You know what? We're still going to want to salvage, so we'll go ahead and do that. We have 1 more point, and I believe we can just hold on, or we could save it. Strong-minded. You know what? We'll go like this. He's going to have 1 proficiency left. And that leaves us, that took up all our EXP. But now, if we take a look at our perk summary, our hunting is now 7. Our beast lore is 5. So that's starting to get pretty nice combo. Okay. And now we have both of our... Now we should be able to... There we go, yep. Guard captain. Nice. So now we have that defensive slot, and we have that animal slot. We should be good on that. Let me see here. We don't need to do anything here. Market district. Alright. Alright, let's go ahead and pick a mission up. I think that's the next thing that we're going to want to do. for a little bit of traveling. Now, normally they tell you not to get the fighting ones, but they can be okay depending on difficulty. So here, our attack power is 135. We're gonna want to get the church reputation up. We're gonna be getting the churches up. We're probably gonna get the house Darius for they do a bunch of the slaving work, but those eventually. But this is having us go near Arkan, and that's not bad at all since we're gonna be going to Arkan anyway, the Escort. So we'll get jumped once, but that's gonna be okay. And then let's see if we have a mission to go towards Arkan. Supply run to Arkan. Hopefully there'll be one. There we go. Looks like we have 2 potential Arkan runs. Alright, and they both take 2 slots, so we'll pick them both up. Now, I do want to point out, like, some people say, oh, do you want to go just with certain reps because going up of one, lower the other ones? Right now, honestly, we just need to make money. So we'll take these 2 Arkan deliveries. And then we're going to go ahead and get some supplies. Okay. We have 4 money left. That's not enough for any more beasts or anything. That is 6 days of food. You know, I'll go ahead and get 1 more. There we go, 9 days of food. We are rested up, and we will go ahead, save right here, and we shall move on. Alright, so mission-wise, we're here, we want to go up here. And we want to get off the roads as soon as we can. Now, there is going to be, on this road here, an encounter that if you follow the road to get another NPC, but we don't want to pick it up right away. We can pick it up on the way back if we want to. So let's see here. Let's start moving. And here's the Escort combat mission. So let's take a look at how combat works. All right. So we know this. Oh, do you want me to click here? Yes. All right. I'm well aware. So we have a very high chance of success. All right. So now we have some goals. So this is kind of interesting. You can, if there's something you want to make sure you protect, you can choose to apply your ward. And ward is kind of like extra protection. I normally defend equally. What you end up finding is more often than not, you're going to lose some crew members. But crew members aren't too expensive to hire as long as there's some inventory for them. But again, if you're like, let's say doing a trade run and you have some very valuable items and you don't want them to get basically taken away, you can save the cargo because you're going to be responsible for paying for that. But again, I'm not too worried because we are much, much more powerful than them. All right, we're going to be fighting for 3 rounds. And now what's kind of nice is we're going to be able to add special actions to buff ourselves. And I always do this. It utilizes your kind of encouragement points. All right, let's see. Oops, select your group. I have to click on this. All right. So you can also do this command to unlock advanced actions, but here's the problem. Let me show you. The advanced ones, I don't believe we can even afford them right now. Because I believe all these here, as you'll see, are going to be, let's see here. Yeah, ironically, all it does right now is it eliminates options. Oh, my bad. You know, I take that back. We do have enough for barricade. So what is barricade? So makeshift barricades is what you're going to normally pick up. And it adds for 1 resource plus 50 defense. That's huge. You notice here we have 17 defense. And the barricade doubles that, 100. That is amazing. Now, the other way to get defense is to mount up on your horses. Now, the downside to this, if we were to up it like this, notice our defense goes up and so does our offense. but we could lose these potentially. If they die, we could potentially make it so we can't carry all our cargo, which can be a bummer. So what we're gonna do here, actually, because we can, is we're gonna do this advanced action. We're gonna make a barricade, and this is awesome. Look at our defenses now, 113, 117. So this should be a slaughter. 81% chance of a good outcome, 11% chance of a critical one. All right, that's not too bad. Now the second round, you notice we're not gonna have the ability to do those expensive ones, but we can still do I like this. It's going to up our defense. It's going to lower our attack, but we have plenty of attack. We just want to minimize the chance of losing anything ourselves. It's still not guaranteed. Like, notice she got damaged. This does not mean she's dead. It just means she's going to have to recover a little bit, and that's going to be fine. All right, so notice now they're trying to run away. We're going to try and pursue them. Now, we don't have like the craziest chase stat, but there's only one of them. So we should be able to see, we ran them down. Now the downside is, notice we potentially lose one of our scouts, which kind of sucks. But we do have a chance to heal up. And so there's going to be two things. Remember, we had bought the healing medkits. We have 15 of them, so that's going to help with that. So we have a baseline of 22. Want to give them time. That's going to take you 2 movement points. Buffs it up to 30% chance of, basically 40% chance of something positive happening. So let's take a look, and we're going to cross our fingers and hope he heals up. Okay, she healed up. That's great. Looks like we might lose. Nope, we lost one scout. All right, that's fine. It is what it is. So we'll have to get another one. But this was net positive because we got a crystal lamp that we're going to be able to sell. We got 4 of these coppers. So that's going to be good. And obviously, it's for the mission. All right, and that was the only combat we're going to have for that. So we will go ahead and rest here. We are fresh. You know, we're going to, because we have so much extra, we're going to do a normal rest here. We're not going to hunt or anything. But notice here, she's still technically hurt a little bit. So we're going to click this button, and notice the difference. When you toggle the supplies, it goes from a 10% chance of something good happening to 40% chance. Okay, so unfortunately, it used up a medical supplies. Doesn't always, and it didn't. So that was kind of a failure. But it's okay. It's still worth the risk. You basically got to make sure to do that. Now we'll travel. Now we will do our hunting. Now notice our hunting went down a couple percent because we lost that character. On the bright side, it could have been worse. Oops. Really? Spam risk while I'm trying to record? How rude. All right, we're still fresh, so let's see. Will this keep us fresh? Yeah, we'll be at 5. Let's try and heal her again. Hopefully this goes better this time. There we go. She healed 2 health. We foraged a little bit, which is fine. Let's see here. Let's go to the other side of this road now. Why did the caravan cross the road? To get better foraging and hunting options. Obviously. There we go. Success. So that was a nice successful one. We kind of broke even there. When you do a critical success, you can get over double the benefits. Also, when you're new to this game and you're traveling, always check your map so you can see your reference here. If we did the road, it'd be this crazy roundabout. We're not doing that. We're going to cut across and get straight to Arkin here. We're not worried. We're tough. We're going to be scaring the bandits, not the other way around, given time. Alright, keep healing. Nice, look at that. So that was nice and profitable. Now, unfortunately, we don't have room for everything. But again, these 7 herbs will sell for more than 71 of these. So we're good with that. Now, the only thing that was a little bit of a bummer. Now, we're going to go all the way to town now. Now, normally here's the golden rule. You never want to spend more than 1 march point unless you're going to end in town and rest there anyway. So in cases like this, even if it were take me down to 5 or something, I'll still do it because we just want to get our butts in town. All right, so let's turn our missions, get our rep up, get some money. That worked out pretty well. And now some important things are going to happen here. We sold those off. Now, equipment-wise, yes, now this is great. Because notice we have an animal slot and we have a miscellaneous slot open now. And this is weird because these are both animals, but notice under categories here, this is animal, miscellaneous, or offense. And this one is animal or defense. So we, right now, if you look at our deputies, this one gives us the, let me see here, where does it say that? This one adds the defensive slot. I'm a little confused. Why am I not seeing defense? Oh no, it is here. Sorry. We have defense, and the other one opened up the other deputy opened up an animal equipment. All right, cool. So we are gonna buy first of all the hunting animal. Again, huge. Plus 10 hunting base chance, plus 5 chase, plus 8 combat strength. This is beautiful, and it costs almost nothing. And again, we're gonna put him in off on animal. And then I think we're gonna get this guy. This is flea. We don't care about the flea. This has 2 different. So we're gonna. Let me see here. This can be miscellaneous as well. So theoretically, I could put this miscellaneous as an animal, because this is actually not an optimal defensive one. We have some better defensive options. We can get more vigilance, but we're gonna get this instead. Protective harness. Notice this can go in harness, but we don't want to get rid of Tarkin awning. Instead, we're going to put this in the defensive slot. It's going to give us minus 10 consumption for Beast of Burden. We only have 1 Beast of Burden, but that's fine. But we care about plus 2 mount defense, outrider defense, and beast defense. So this, I think, is going to be the best option for us, especially since we're going to be getting our outriders. So let's go ahead and put that on defense. And then let me see here. What do we want for our miscellaneous? I want to make sure we get the best miscellaneous. This one gives us 20 vigilance. This one gives us 1 perception. And I don't know why it has plus 15, plus 5. It's a little weird like that. Why it has a word like that. We could also get perimeter defense. Make sure. Oh, here's the other option. Yeah, I was waiting for this. Is what we want. Blinders and combat saddle. It costs 3 silver, but totally worth it. And you can go into offense or miscellaneous. Plus 10 chase. So again, we're going to be getting way better chasing stats now when people start to run away. But plus 1 outrider combat strength and defense. In the last combat, we kept our horses basically off to the side. But now that we're going to have this, we are going to go ahead and start mounting everything. Oh, awesome. Matt, thank you for purchasing a Berserker Leeroy Gaming white mug and 1 other merch. I'm the man. Thanks, Matt. I greatly appreciate you. And for those of you that don't know, if you want to support the channel, one of the ways is I got a ton of merchandise. We got sweatshirts like this. We got really cool mugs like this. There's a red Berserker format, and I got the classic blue as well, and some other items. If you're looking to support the channel, but also get some awesome swag, in the description of this video and any of my videos, you're going to see a link to my merch store. So that's a nice way to support me and the channel while actually getting something instead of just throwing money at me. So a little bit quick shout out there, since somebody did purchase something a moment ago. All right, so we got that. So at this point, if we look, we are still not super powerful, but unlike a trader, our offensive power is going to be starting to get pretty decent now. And so we can start taking a combination of combat mission and travel missions. Now, basically, we're going to have an option to keep it safe, which would be here. There's Lumen that's going to be over here. Tozag is really safe, and Arkan. We can also go north, and this is what I call the Slaver's Belt. There's 3 cities here. One's here, Ash, and I don't like this area because this Ash area you can't hunt because it's ashen, all burnt down. But there's an extra city here in the middle. and you can do some decent trading here. But let's see, because there is RNG, let's take a look what missions are available. We'll start looking at the trader routes. So here's 1 lumen. There's 2 lumen. All right, so we could easily do 2 lumen runs right now. We could also go back to Torzag. There's 2 Torzags we could do, which I'm actually considering right now, because I kind of want to pick up that other NPC by going the long way. Actually, no, the supplies here are expensive, so that would not be smart or good. So we may go the short way and then load up on food and go the highway instead. And let's see what the combat options are. The only escort we have available right now at this level is for the church to go to Devon. We don't want to go to Devon. Now, there is a cool button here. We don't have it yet. This is actually really cool. This button here lets you basically re-roll all these mission options. This is something we're going to have to level up and pick here. It's right here, exploit. You can use resourcefulness to re-roll available contracts and settlements. Now, it's not cheap. I don't remember if it costs 4 or more of these resources to do it. It's definitely not cheap, but we will be picking that up so we can optimize our gameplay in just a little bit. But we're not quite there yet. Oh yeah, we have 4 insights, so our options are, again, we want to get our hunting up. So I want to max this out, but it's going to cost 7. But the other thing we want to do is we do want to buff our companions. And let's take a look at her. She looks pretty badass here. She is one of the skill monkeys here. Has lots of skills. You'll notice the other character we had didn't have nearly as many of these. She already has 3 hunting, which is great. We can get Beast Lore too. Now, she can, if you're going to play with her, Venatoris is amazing. That's what we're using her for. But Chief Handler is amazing as well. I actually want to get another character that has this. It's going to give you +1 to max march, -15 consumption for beast of burden and mounts, lowers the workforce needed as well. This is a big deal because it's going to make it so that it's going to cost us less supplies to maintain our army. And again, we want to basically have an army of a bunch of fighters and mounts, and then enough room for our loots and spoils. We'll also open up animals, but we already have one. And I don't think we can have a second animal. Oh, we can have a second animal. I take that back. So we may actually want to work towards that. I just realized that. Because also, we don't care about the flea, but the -10 consumption for outriders, in addition to that, that's really, really, really good. And it requires Beast Lore 2 and Healer. So we can't get it right off the bat, but let's go ahead and do that. Let's get Beast Lore 2. Now, Healer is really good too, because it's going to give you +5 healing base chance. So you noticed when we use medkits, we were at, I believe, a 30 or 40% chance to heal. This will up it to either 35 or 45, depending on the situation. And then we can actually afford this. I didn't think we would be able to. That's nice. That +1 March, max March is really, really nice too. Now it's March, not move. So it's emergency movement, which isn't as good as max movement. You'll notice Scoutmaster gives you +1 max movement, but we don't care about scouting. I never scout in this game. And we basically would be giving up the hunting and foraging, but our upkeep's going to be a lot lower. So yeah, let's do that. Eventually, we want to get both. So we want to get another NPC that does these, but let's do this. We have 1 more point. Is there anything I want to put that in? We could put it into Herblore. No, you know what? Let's see here. Let's go towards one of our prerequisites. I think maybe I'll just hold off. Savvy isn't bad either. Healing is good though. You know what? We're going to do alchemy. This will also allow us to equip her with some items that may have alchemic requirements. Right now we don't have anything, but we will in time. And then let's go ahead and change her role. Now I believe, okay, good. So we didn't lose our dog spot because it just swapped roles, but we just didn't open the extra one. All right, cool. We have 9 coins left. And we decided, oh, we got to turn this. Ooh, almost forgot about that. There's some extra money for the escort. All right, let's go ahead and let's see here. Ooh, we have a comeback back towards Torgate's shelter. I think that, yeah, that decided for us. Let's do that. I don't know where that came from. I thought we were out of it. But we will rest first so we don't lose that extra day of healing. Exchange the news, though. It's always good. Let's go ahead and rest. All right, and again, we're going to heal her. Or attempt to. Now notice this is much higher now. We're in town, so we get some benefits from that. And also we buffed up our healing. So now it's almost 100% chance of something good, but it could be great. We are not going to this. We don't want to lose Vigor. All right. There you go. So she got 1 vitality. Could have been better. The crit would have given us 2. But we're looking pretty good there. We do need to replace that 1 scout. Again, I want to keep that at 8. We are at 10 money. You know what? Yeah. I'm going to go all the way up to 10 Beast of Burdens. And this is mainly, so when we're fighting, we can technically, if we lose 1 or 2, we're still going to be good with our cargo. Okay, we are not going to buy any more food. 5 days should be plenty. And then let's go ahead and pick up the missions. We're going to go to Torzag Shelter Escort. Battle of 55. Again, we have 144 offense. This is not going to be difficult. And then let's do the escorts to Torzag. There's 1. There's 2. And we'll come back for the other ones. Okay, good. Now, this is kind of a cheap way of finding this out, but a lot of times, if you don't want to do the hard work of finding out what sells well somewhere, more often than not, whatever your missions are transporting, you can buy that and make profits as well. So at this point, in theory, if I had a little bit more money, I could go and buy a marble here and then sell it. But I want to leave this spot open because we're going to get in a fight and I want to be able to get some of that free loot off enemies. So there we go. All right, we're leaving town. And again, we're staying away from the roads for now. We're going to get jumped at some point. We don't know when. And take a look at that. Our hunting is now up to 46% right now. That's even with the change in our, I believe, in our deputies, right? I believe, yeah. So we have that lower consumption. But what I love about this is our overall food consumption is only 81. And that's with all these beasts of burdens, all this other stuff. So this is becoming very, very efficient. So let's see here if we get lucky. All right, we got 88. So we basically broke even and made a slight surplus on there. So that worked out really, really well. Let's move again. All right, another good chance. Loving these odds. She's also fully healed up, you'll notice here, which is nice. All right, good. We almost broke even. Good. We're going to go 6 this time. That works out. We're leaving 2 movement spaces left over to make sure we go to 5 freshness. So fresh and so clean, clean. Oh, nice. So we are moving extremely efficiently. That's what matters here right now. We'll do another 6 like this. Even though they're fails, we didn't lose any scouts and we got some surplus still. And here's the fight. So check this out, boys. Remember 144-17? All right, we are going to defend equally. So first thing we're going to do, look at, by mounting up, look at how much higher our defense is now. Because we're getting plus 10 from guard captain, also percent, plus 5 from having high morale. but also we have all that equipment that buffs the defense. So we're getting 50 defense from the Outriders, and we're getting per Outrider an extra 3. So base defense is 2. You get basically 150% more because of the gear. So that's really, really powerful. And what's nice here now is, again, what we can do is we can proc the barricades. And again, this may seem like overkill, but remember, this game is all about statistics. And so you could be like 60 versus 12 and you could still get a bad roll and lose people. Why bother? This just kind of almost guarantees you're defending. And if you whoop their butt in the first round, they're not going to have very much to work with in round 2 and 3. And so, see, even with that high defense, we had bad RNG. This is like really bad RNG. We had a 7% chance of things going bad, and it went bad. All right, we're going to keep going. We're still going to pursue, even those odds that don't look as good. There we go. The important thing is we wipe them out now. And these are not going to cost a lot to rehire. Now, if you lose like 10 of them, it's not as good, mainly because the places you go to may not have inventory for them. But also what's nice is they're not technically dead yet. We're going to give them time. We're going to have a 47% chance of something good happening. Cross our fingers. So again, bad RNG. Even though we had a 47% chance, we still lost 2. It's okay. The fact that we got 2 of this copper, this is how much it's going to cost us, I believe, about 1 copper, or I call them copper, each to hire. We broke even on the combat on that. We're also going to sell the simple jewelry. That's going to be profitable. And obviously, that was part of the mission. So that was not bad at all. All right, let's go here. Again, we're staying off the roads. Going to go ahead. Yep, let's go all the way here. Let's rest. Nice. We got our resources. We're back to 4 days. And you know what? We'll just go straight into town. There we go. Approach the guards. Get nothing to hide. Do be careful. A lot of times you'll fight enemies and you'll get contraband, like the obsidian weapons, and then like there's the equivalent of like some weed stuff. And both of those, if you get them, you will have to try and even hide them from the guards or get caught, and it's going to make your crime level go up. And also you'll have to pay a fee. So what I sometimes do, if I don't have the right build to get past enemies or get past the checks, I'll just basically throw out the inventory before I get to town. So, but we don't have to worry about that right now. So again, let's first go ahead and turn in all the quests. We got our escort, made some nice profits off that. All right, next thing. Now, here's a nice little trick. If you're going to rest all night, don't hire new troops until the next day. So you can avoid paying them for one of the days, and you can avoid paying them, for any other elements. All right, so news, that's fine. We can also check for. Ooh, this is nice. So we're going to be heading to Lumen here, and we'll probably take these passengers. Now, notice when you have a passenger, they're going to cost you food. Like this group costs 7 food per turn, which is a lot, but they will pay you almost 2. Again, I'm going to call them silver, 2 silver, which is a lot. These guys cost a lot less. They make you less, but they're pretty profitable. This guy, the Zealous Overseer, could theoretically, he could fight for you, but you never want him to fight for you because they die, they're not going to pay you. All right. So we're back here. Now we'll also make sure to stock up on food in a second as well. Yeah, I don't think there's anything we want to do here right now. We're keeping it kind of simple. So let's go ahead and rest till the next day, and then we'll pick up missions. All right, keep the morale. We do not want them working. Yeah, if we had a bunch of energy, we could make them work. That's actually a pretty good chance. 60% chance of making some money is not bad, but not at the cost of vigor. All right. There we go. Refresh the local needs. And now let's see what we can do. Now the Lumen is the longer mission, but that's okay. So Lumen, what's kind of nice is we can technically just cut across here and not go towards the Arkan, and I think we may do that because, again, we don't mind going off-road. We're built for it. First of all, we're going to stock up on some of this food. Did we lose? I guess we lost. I didn't think we lost any horses, but yeah. Oh, because... So remember, if they're auto on their horses, you're going to lower your cargo. Now, here's a little trick. Notice when you're unequipped like this, it's less consumption, but it gives you an artificial sense of how much room you have for stuff. So if you want to know exactly how much room you have for stuff while fighting in full capacity, you can equip however many you have. And we are going to get another fighter, so let's take a look at that. Oh no, we're maxed. We were at 12 because we lost one. We need to get at least 2 scouts. I'm happy with that number. Now you know, okay, with these 2 food things, which is enough for 5 food, we have room for 4, which is not great. But what I think I'm gonna do, we've got the money. There we go. I got even 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. That didn't quite do it. But let's see. There you go. This will give us enough for another food section and then potentially 4 supplies to Lumen. So let's see if are there any missions to go to Lumen is the question. Arkan, there's Lumen. That's more profitable. 1 Lumen, 2 Lumen. There we go. Ooh, 3 Lumen. Now this is, notice you're going to have a lot of options for different types of for different factions. So here, these are kind of interesting because they only take up 1 of these slots. Now, do note, I want to talk about for a second for a faction because we're going to be doing a lot of battling. And unlike the trading missions, what you're going to find is that a lot of the combat missions will have you have these people attack rival factions. So that's kind of an important thing. So right now, notice I didn't pick a background to give me any bonuses. So only the areas that I did missions for, and mainly the Church of Surgorod is what I've been doing missions for by coincidence. So you want to click on them. What you care about right now is who their allies are. So the 2 churches are allies. Their opponents are carpenter guilds and loader builds. And this, by the way, it's unknown, but these are the abolitionists. They hate the abolitionists. The opponents, again, you could technically do missions for all 3 of these, or all of these, but there's going to be some negative repercussions. So really, there is a kind of a semi-alliance between the 2 churches and your associates, the House Darius, which deals with slaves and military supplies we like, are these guys. So basically, what I'm saying is you want to find which combo of things you want to focus on. So we are going to focus on the 2 churches, on House Darius. Unfortunately, that means that we're probably not going to be very good friends of carpenter guilds or loaders guilds. But that's okay. Those you're going to be big on if you're going to be trading. But let's look at these guys. Who are these guys? Okay, so unfortunately, notice they're associates by Rathalak Alliance. They're opponents of House Darius, so that's not great. Let's see who else we could look. We saw these guys, Rathalak Alliance. Again, they don't like us either. That's great. I thought there was another one we could be semi-friends with, but I don't think so. Maybe House Quoto? No, they don't like it either. All right, so because we're going kind of mercenary focused, this is a little different. We're going to just focus on the ones that definitely like us, okay? And it may make it a little bit more difficult. Again, if you're a trader, you're never going to be forced to take missions where you're like attacking and ransacking different houses, but you will notice that will be something that we're going to be doing in this playthrough. So let's take a look. We're going to do a supply run to Lumen. This only takes 1. supply run to Lumen. That's only one. These guys don't like us. Let's see here. We could pick up in the short term, technically, a couple of these, but and there's no combat. These are all trade. All right, now we are going to buy some food. So let's get some supplies. That's 8 days. That should be fine. And you know what we're going to do? It's a short-term thing, but we are going to go ahead and pick up one of these other factions, whichever one is the most profitable to Lumen. And I'm thinking, let's see, which one are we okay? All right. Venari, yeah, they're all going to be opponents. But I'm thinking magical objects. Okay, they're about magical options. These guys are rare metals. Dragonlance. Okay, let's go with this dragon faction. They don't like us, but we'll do a mission for them anyway. And maybe, just maybe it'll work out. All right. Cool. Cool beans, cool beans. We're good. We got enough supplies for 8 days. We're gonna pick up the passengers to Lumen. There's gonna be 3 of them. They'll give us a little bit more money. And we have 12 horsemen. That's fine. Or 12 fighters. 8 of them are horsemen. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's go ahead and get out of here. All right, here we go. All right. Now, here's an interesting thing I found. When you're going from Torzag Shelter to Lumen, there's 2 ways you can go. You can go this north route, which more likely is going to have you go on the roads. And again, if you are pretty efficient with food, I'm relatively efficient, you can go this way. Do note, though, you're risking proccing a toll. And that could sometimes be up to like 4 or 5 silver later on, which is kind of nutty. Or we can go off-roading, which is what we're going to do. And we're going to cut across here and come across here and go up this way, which I think is as efficient, if not more efficient, and you're staying off-road, so we're going to get to do hunting. So that's what is going on here. So let's go ahead and go with that. All right. So 6 movement. Stay efficient with that. 44% hunting. That's pretty good. I'm relatively happy with that. All right, there we go. We pretty much broke even on that one. We could also go across here, but we're not going to today. There you go. Nice. See, we got some herbs. We made some profits here. Let me see here. Okay, yeah. It's telling us the herbs are more valuable. Yeah, technically. All right. Nice. At some point, though, I may have to get rid of this because this is kind of nice. For now, we'll just keep going. All right, we're going to go here. Now, if I move all the way here, I'm not going to be able to hunt. So this is why we're just going to stay here because I do want to be able to hunt. There we go. We're breaking nice and even. There we go. Now, we could also pit stop at some of these areas and get extra free insight. But right now, we're trying to be pretty efficient with food and stuff. There we go. Unfortunately, yeah, no room for that. So that's the one downside. We'll probably pick up a couple more horses to make some room when we're traveling. But they are kind of pricey for how much money we have right now. Oh man, I would see this is why it would have been nice. We make some nice profits there. But again, we're kind of maxed out. Let me see, how much do the herbs sell for? I might hold on to the food here. Herbs are going to be selling for We don't know how much is the other one, but 3 of them could be the equivalent of 1 silver. And that's like 1,000 food. Yeah, the herbs are way more valuable. Yeah, I can see why. All right. And let's see, how much would take this? It would take us 8 right now. We're gonna camp outside one more time. So that was super efficient. You guys probably noticed. We didn't lose anything. There we go. So we got there, we returned them, and they even tipped us some and upped some of our reps, which is cool. And then we're gonna turn all this. Boom, that's beautiful. And now we are doing pretty good profit-wise. And again, staying nice and safe. All right, so what we're gonna do, we could also get this. I think we're gonna buy this for a beast cargo. It costs 3 silver. We only have 1 beast, but it's the only thing we can put in our cargo slot right now. It can make the difference between having an extra slot and not sometimes, so really can't hurt. If there's something else for cargo, we would put it there, to be honest. But all right, we're good on that. Excuse me. Lumen, let me see here. The blind Jakra. Let me see. I'm just checking if there was any missions here. It's about Crystal Forest missions. We're not really big into trading, so we don't care about that. We'll look for potential recruits. Oh, that's right. Yes, Harvick. We like this guy. This guy is a bouncer. He's a badass. We like him. Yeah, this guy right here. He reminds me of Batista from Guardians of the Galaxy and also WWE fame. So let me give you his little story. So you find Harvick sitting at a table near the wall of the common room. Nothing about him or his disposition gives you the impression that he works here. Empty mugs are strewn across his table, and he is playing with a nasty knife as you approach him. What you want, he raps without looking up. Before you is a large man, completely bald, yet the first thing everyone notices about Harvick is his scythe-like right arm, compound eyes, and other insectoid features. Clearly the results of the taint. You tell him the word is he might be interested in work, and talks about your venture briefly. Harvick's face remains blank, but he looks up and listens intently. When you are done, he motions to the chair across him. You've piqued my interest, I give you that, probably. He is cut off abruptly by the arrival of 2 burly men with malevolent gazes. This does not look good. Get up, one of the men spit, seething with anger. Harvick does not move. It's hard to make heads or tails of his expression because of the inhuman compound eyes. Think we're afraid of you because you weren't a slammer? I said get. The man cannot finish because the bouncer lunges forward with lightning speed, slashing him across his chest with his mantis arm. The other fellow strikes him on the head with a powerful fist in retaliation. In seconds, terrible brawl is underway. Another man wielding a knife soon joins the fray against the tainted bouncer, while the rest of the tavern staff seems disciplined to get involved or disinclined. So helping him, unless you have crazy stats, it's probably not going to be successful. But what's really nice is what I found is you can just sit and wait what happens, and he'll still join you from what I found. Just don't turn against him. That's a bad idea. So we're going to sit and wait what happens, and check this out. You lean back, motionless, and watch as the bouncer carves up his assailants with vicious precision. There are moments when you think he will go down from brutally powerful punches, but he always rebounds, retaliating with amazing ferocity. He does not kill his opponents, but maims them badly. In a minute or two, stands over the beaten foes, bloodied and grinning. He leans closer to his first attacker, a burly man who's bleeding profusely. Your carpenter buddies put up a much better fight. With a ferocious kick to the head, Harvick knocks out the fellow before he could speak. You look around the common room, and the contempt towards the bouncer is almost palpable. We better leave, boss. These cravens won't do anything, but I don't want them to be around when we talk. He raps to you, and as he downs the rest of his drinks and indicates the exit with a nod, you follow Harvick outside and lead him to a small cafe laid out under colorful awnings set of the Mansio. So we're going to buy him some drinks. Of coffee, rather. Coffee is warm and delicious. Lean back on a large pillow and face Harvek, who has finished his drink and is grinning at you. Sorry for a little scene back there, Vargas, but that's done now, and I was beginning to get interested in your little presentation before those losers cut you off. I suppose an offer was about to follow. Perhaps you wanted to ask me some questions to Judge Harvick if he's capable, if he can be trusted. I can ask him about his abilities. If you're looking to fight, look no further. He's in peak physical condition. As rest, I know how to survive and remain unseen, and I can be a great help when dealing with the underworld. So he's got a lot of connections with the crime syndicates. You can ask him to elaborate. Talks about Collegia. That's good. Good to know. So we're gonna definitely bring him on board. There we go. Plus 20 Loader Guild. He joins us. Perfect. All right, now let's take a quick look at him. We are gonna want to get the deputy level to 3. Now he also has 2 options. He has Guardian Captain and he has Slave Driver. So discipline is what keeps your slaves in check. If you are running out of food, for example, or you're exhausting your whole caravan, they can get out of hand. He keeps them in check and also opens a miscellaneous equipment slot. But what we really want is we want to be able to take our buddy Gorgoro here and probably turn him into a Marauder Prime, most likely, to increase chase and ambush. Or, let's see here. What were we thinking? We were thinking she has... Oh yeah, she's the chief handler. We wanted another Ventaris. But what we would probably do with him, with the 3rd slot, is we want to upgrade him. And we want to get the guard captain. Because again, this is going to allow him to be the defensive one and Gongoro be the offensive one. And that should be a nice combination. Now, unfortunately, this is going to cost more than we have right now. We're at 2. So it's going to cost us... it is not telling us here. Oh, it's probably because we're not in a place where we can level up or something. I don't know. But I believe it's going to cost us at least like 6 or 8 to do that. So we're going to wait and do that. I think that's going to be a pretty good bet. For now, we're going to keep it at as is. We have plenty of food, so we don't need to redo that. Let's again get information on the trades. Now, notice I've been picking up rumors. I'm not really checking them right now because for now we're doing a very simple progress. We're going from here down south. I call it the safety triangle. So the safety triangle, if you're beginning, is Lumen, Arkan, Torzag, Shelter. You pay more for supplies at Lumen and Arkan, so you don't want to have to buy stuff here. Torzag is good. You can sometimes go to Kurnak Way Station. Eventually, you want to go down for this mission down here, but for now, we're okay. And we're going to be going eventually to some of these areas here, like Arceus Quarry, Vigilant Tower. None of those are good for buying materials. And we're going to go east and north in a little bit. But for now, we're not quite there yet. So our consumption is 80, which is not bad. It's been around 80 to 100. We can get on a decent roll in a day, which is nice. So what we want to do is up our mounts again, since we can afford them. They do cost 2 each. So I'm thinking, do we want it to go to 88? That is a whole nother level. But it would give us more options for carrying. Yeah, and don't forget, see, as I'm equipping this, when you travel like this, it's going to tremendously increase how much consumption it works. Now, it doesn't say anywhere in the notations that you get any certain benefit for the Outriders riding beforehand. Now, there is an option here you'll see you can mount up. So if I had 33 mounts right now, meaning enough for my slaves, my workers, the scouts, and the fighters, plus 1 for me, and I don't have a beast of burden, everybody could mount up. And I have never gotten enough beasts to do this, mounts, but I'm assuming we'll get more movement, probably max out, and potentially some other benefits. And again, if we were to kind of ask, well, what would that look like? Well, take a look at their normal movement is 12. So it looks like um, instead of 8 here, we would have 12. So that'd be pretty fast movement across the prairies or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, for now, we won't do that. Um, let's keep this cost down and we'll just mount that up when needed. And you know what? We will go, we'll do 16. It's maybe a little crazy. Our upkeep is half, so we have enough for about 12. That's pushing it a little bit. But let's take a look. We have in this playthrough, which I was going to do 2 hours, we have enough to probably do one more run. And here it is. We can do 2 escorts missions. This is an 85 difficulty fight. That's a little rougher. This one's 71. I do think we can handle both of those, I think. As long as they don't proc together. Yeah. Oh, you know what? We can sell this. How much are we going to sell this for? Nice. Those like two silver basically. That was actually really, really good. Okay, so let's go ahead and take both of these escorts because we do care about those reputations. And when you get reputations up, we're going to get rewards. So if you're new to this again, it takes a little bit, but let's look at the churches. So we're going to get this destroy undead crew combat. The first, you're going to get combat strength against undead. And you get access to the Candle of the Dead. You get a free gear that gives you +1 Die Hard and bleed and magic resistance. That's pretty nice. The other church is Zealous Anger. You're going to get basically a crew buff of 5% combat, which is nice. A torture device. So, yeah, there you go. And then a final one that we're going to be kind of trying to get the reputation up. Well, they don't have it here. It's probably because we don't have any missions for them. But we'll take a look at that a little bit later. All right, and what is available? Do we have any? Oh, we don't even have any other missions, escort missions. Oh, well, it's good that we have those because otherwise it wouldn't work. All right, nobody to escort. Ooh, that's a little rough. Okay. So in a case like this, when you have all this extra room, what we can do is probably buy some supplies to bring back down there. So what we would do here, this is the trick I recommend. Look at whatever they have a lot of. So in this case, it's Cerealis crystals. Clearly, we have a ton of it. We can buy it for 7. How much can we sell it for in Torzag? For 8.9. So that is basically 1.1 copper profit each. So unfortunately, they're expensive. We don't have much money. So normally we would buy that up. So that's something we would want to do when we transfer between those two. But we're not going to do that for now. Let's go ahead and let's rest. And then we will head on out, boys. There we go. Also chatting. Let me make sure. Let's see here. His campaign of payback. Here we go. So he wants to get revenge on people. He's got basic people on his kill list. And I believe with him, if I remember correctly, just when you run into people that are in areas, you'll have little quest options and he'll go and kill them or you'll have to fight them. So, okay. I was gonna, let's see here, ask him about the orcs. Now, those I like to pick up, sometimes they'll give you EXP. If you were an orc, I know you would get an extra one. Ask about gladiator circuits. So there are 2 different circuits in Torzag. If we can get them beefed up enough and level up our other fighters, that's another reason why we're leveling them up. We can throw them into the arenas and win reputation and win money, etc. And since we're mercenaries running around killing things, we might as well get into that as well. So that's enough for now. And let's go ahead and rest and we shall move on. All right, exchange that and we are heading out. We have 6 days of food. Should be fine. All right. normal. Let's activate these. There we go. Good. Staying ahead of the game. Oh, and here is the first fight. So we'll fight. We will go ahead and defend equally. Again, you could totally not defend equally and be fine. They have 17. We don't even really need this. Is a really good odds on this one. Let's see here. All right. So what we could do, let's go like this, and then for the second action, we can up our defense if we need to. Feeling 72. Nah, you know what? Let's do this. Let's minimize. Now that didn't really increase our chances, so that's a little annoying. All right, let's just go like this. We'll see how that works out. See, like, we just lost potentially 2 and 1 on there, even though it was only supposed to be like a 6% and 1% chance. Okay, but now we should be able to, for this one, just, we can demoralize. Concentrated defense. All right. Let's see here, insult. All right, critical success margin, we'll do that. Insult them. Will it actually work though? Let's pursue them. We're insulting them as they're running away. Because remember, we have another combat we get to survive, so I don't want to lose too much, so we technically lost some here. Now, in theory, we could have set my defense to protecting like the fighters and stuff, because we don't really have any cargo that we're getting. But oh, here, check it out. So we have an option. We could conscript them. It's going to lower morale. We could get another slave. It counts as cruel. I know the Goro guy won't like that. He can be malevolent for executing. Now we'll go ahead and we'll conscript him. Why not? We're gonna give him time. I'm gonna try and heal up. Hopefully we'll heal up some of these. All right, there you go. So we had healed at least some of them. Now that looked probably like I healed them all, but I didn't heal all of them. So we're gonna see the net difference here in a second. So the good news is we only lost 1 instead of 3, and 1 of these. A little rough, but we also got 156 of these and a spectral residue. So this wasn't too bad. Yeah, we're gonna be fine. Let's go ahead and rest. After that, we don't even have to heal anybody, so that worked out pretty well. All right, there we go. Now we are fatigued, so what we're gonna do here, so we get our max movement, we're not gonna do that. I want to get our energy back. That was kind of weird. We still got more exhausted. We shouldn't have gone. That I don't understand. That was a little weird. I don't know if you guys saw that, but we didn't hunt. It should have technically give us increased our level of energy. Oh, we don't have enough armored crew, so we lost because we lost that 1 unit. See, so that was a little rough, unfortunately. Okay. There we go. We got some. Ooh, critical success. That was nice. Oh, and here is. So, good news, bad news. All right, we're still good enough. Technically, because we are exhausted, this can give us some negative elements. So, what we are going to ward, because we're planning on winning this, I'm just going to ward all the crews. Oh, the fighting crew. There we go. Hold the line. Let's go ahead. 68. Action. We could do makeshift barrier. That's 81 and 11. And if we do this and do barricade, there we go, 8111, still the same. That's interesting. So let's just do, we'll go ahead and do makeshift barricade. It looks like there's the diminishing returns kick in percentage-wise. See, I don't get those odds sometimes. How we have only 8% chance of bad things happening when we lose 2 units. It seems, I mean, it might be accurate, but it seems a little off. All right, let's see here. We'll do this just so we can increase our morale. So that's good for the post-combat. We're still going to pursue them. There we go. We got them all. We'll have to heal up a little bit, but we should be fine. And so this is the second set of fights for the mission we had. So there'll be no more forced fights, or there shouldn't be. All right, so we lost 2 and he got injured, but we got some loots and stuff. All right, so we're good on that. All right, at this point, it looks like our guys are pretty exhausted. So let's do this. Let's just go here. And we're gonna rest of extra space. And not do this. Should hopefully up our energy. There we go. Alright, I should have 2 surplus. We should hopefully... Okay, now we're fresh, so we're getting better. Good. There we go. Back in black. So this is again why because when we lose some fighters, we can make it so that our camp isn't guarded enough, so do need to pick up some extra fighters. I was trying to be cost effective by keeping that down, but I did push it a little far. It's kind of hard to calculate sometimes right off the top of your head exactly how much you want. If you just max out all your fighters and scouts, your upkeep will get so high you're going to be running out of food all the time, and that can be absolutely brutal. I learned that the hard way. So here we go. Get in town. Good. Pay the taxes. And let's turn this in. There we go. I mean, 16 silver just for the escortation. And then let's not forget the profits we're going to make selling this stuff. So that was not bad. And now we can max this out. Alright, let's see what our reputation is now up to. So this is getting nice. This one church is at 101. The other one's 52. That might almost be enough for the first bonus. I think we're getting pretty close. Rewards. Not quite. I thought we were going to be close. Does this tell us at what? Okay, it requires... How much more do we need? Oh, next level we need 119. Sorry, so we need like 200 something. But we do have the reputation tier 1 perk. Huh. Oh, I guess these you don't get till tier 2s. That's my bad. Alright, that's fine. Alright, so the good news is we're here. Exchange the news. I'm gonna go ahead and remember, always rest before you repurchase units. And to finish up here, let's go ahead and finish up resting. And before we end this episode, I will go ahead and let's kind of get our units back up to where they need be. So crew-wise, we had 11, 15. We're going to get one more beast because we lost one. And then let's hire... So right now we're at 11. And what's weird is we didn't have the enduring effect of not enough guards, but That's fine. So that's 12. That brings us at 93 consumption when they're fully mounted up. 12. Oh, there we go. Oh, we don't have enough workers now. Urgh. All right, that's fine. We'll get another. We'll take care of this. And then let's see here. I'll do 8. That brings us up. Should technically have one more. Try not to run with too many. They do cost a lot to upkeep. So if we max this out, this is still fine. And we can also go like this to minimize the food. Make them walk. We're good. That's down 9 to 5, 8, 4. So again, my magic number right now, what I'm trying to stay under, is 100. So let's do one more of these. 14. Basically 2 surplus horses in case they die in combat. I like the 5 scouts. And they cost how much food each? This is their food cost. Alright, so they're only... Well, they're a little under. So let's do one more. There we go. This is our extra surplus since they can die in combat. Now we can also sell some of these simple Jews outlaw trophies. So let me kind of show you real quick how that works. If you go to authorities, it should be under bounties. Present outlaw trophies to him, and you can turn those in, and they give you a little bit of rep, a little bit of money. So normally you can wait till you get a bunch of them, but I wanted to show that to you guys. And then we can also go, I believe, market district. I don't know if we have which one here. You can sell the little doohickeys to. I don't like selling to Braxius. He has whole bowl rates for whatever. I don't know if that's on purpose or not, but I did not like the rates. So yeah, when we go to the other towns, we will go ahead and buy them, sell those off. Those do add up. So real quick look here before we go. Kind of what kind of missions we'll have for the future here. So we'll have some places to go and check it out. All right, guys. So this will be the end of the first episode of this Let's Play Mercenary playthrough. We're gonna, just like with the Trader playthrough, we're gonna start a little conservative. We're gonna slowly build up. We're gonna get some EXP. We're gonna start reaching out again. If you want to kind of do a similar playthrough, remember, keep your supply daily limits not too high. Right now, I want to stay under 100 a day because you can pretty regularly get 60 to 80 supplies with the setup I have, and on a hunting / scavenging, and you can get quite a bit more if you get a critical effect. But until we get that maxed, until we kind of build up our momentum a little bit more and get a nice little honey pot of money, we don't want to invest it too much. Now, I'm going to be doing more of these, so do keep an eye out on the channel. There'll be, just as with this first one, there's going to be a little notice that I'm going to be streaming this. And if you watch after the fact, obviously it's going to be posted on my